Hey everybody, how you doing? Stephen Joy here, back with another fantastic video. Yeah, so I was going through my game collection. I found this little game. I've never actually played this. It's called Monsters, and was published in 1976 originally, but this copy is from 1979. It actually has a number down here, number 9102, which is kind of impressive, right? Love the artwork on it. So some nice old school goodness here. I really don't know where I got it from. This is the fourth printing, 1980, and in it it says that it is based on Tunnels and Trolls, which I have Tunnels and Trolls too. Again, I've never played this game, unfortunately. I think maybe I'm going to try and fix that. I'll do a video about Tunnels and Trolls. But this is basically the same rules, format for Tunnels and Trolls, but it's called Monster. And it allows a group to play a bunch of monsters. So what I thought I would do, because I've never played this game, and I've never even actually looked through the rules or anything. Well, I have now, but I've had this for a long time. As you can see, I think I paid $3 for it. I think it was originally $7.25. I don't know what it would go for on eBay now, but probably a little more than that. But anyway, it's a little bit of old school goodness here. As you can see, it's got the old typewriter font, classic, probably printed up on a Gosster. Kind of looks like it. I'm missing one of the ribs here. Just noticed that. But anyway, looks like a really fun game. So the premise behind it is that you roll up a monster pretty much randomly, although the rules say that you can pick a monster if you want, but you know, why would you do that when you have the option for doing it randomly? Ken St. Andre wrote the introduction. I love these old games. So what I did was, it talks about in here, it talks about making, just a minute, I'm going to check, make sure you can see that. Okay. Talks about using index cards. So I tried using an index card. It wouldn't be able to see it. So what I did is I printed up some sheets. I made a character already for this, just sort of a dry run through, make sure I sort of understood the process. And I ended up rolling up a dragon. What are the chances of that? So the way the rules work is you are supposed to choose randomly from a deck of cards. One of my favorite things to do in a game, choosing from a deck of cards. I don't know why. I think it's kind of fun. So that's what I'm going to do. So I have no idea what monster I'm going to roll up, but let's find out. 7 of Hearts. Wow, let's see what kind of monster that's going to be. This is the way I like to get familiar with a game, is to roll up some characters first. I think probably everybody likes to do that first. Okay, 4 of Hearts. I'm going to roll up a Sphinx. That's pretty good. Sphinx. All right. Where was it again? 7 of Hearts. No, I got... Why did I say a Sphinx? That's a 4 of Hearts. All right. I'm trying to cheat already. It's a Snolly Gosster. Oh my god, I have no idea what that is. All right. Snolly Gosster. Well, I have no idea what a Snolly Gosster is at all. I have no idea if there's an Oh, yeah, okay, let's just see here. Let's find out what a Snolly Gosster is. Where are we going to find a Snolly Gosster? Griffin's... A Shoggoths. That's not a Snolly Gosster. Certainly, the Snoggoths would have nothing to do with a Snollygoster. Okay, Snollygoster. No one is sure of their lineage, but they resemble large green four-footed lizards with sharp beaks and a nasty horn protruding from the back of their skull. Occasionally, these beings will consent to being mounts for orcs and such. Contrary descriptions provided to be unfounded rumor. Alright, so basically, a Snollygoster is some kind of strange lizard for horse riding. Alright. Sure. I'm going to have trouble finding this one every time. Alright, so then what you do, it's got interesting mechanics. So, one thing that's kind of interesting, strength, intelligence, luck, constitution, dexterity, charisma. So those are your attributes. But it uses intelligence on the character sheet here. It tells you to put in intelligence, and then after it basically refers to it everywhere except here. It turns into IQ. So I don't know why they didn't just keep it IQ, why they call it intelligence and then switch to IQ, but that's what they did. So I should have put IQ on my little table here, but I didn't. That's kind of annoying. All right, so what you do now is you have to roll up. Okay, I'm just going to choose a choice of a name. All right, well, what is a Snollygoster? I mean, I have no idea what a Snolly... they must be intelligent, fairly. They act like horses for orcs, which I wouldn't say that that's very smart, but they can have a name. Let's just call it Grath. Just for Grath the Snollygoster. Alright, that's pretty awesome. Alright, so we'll roll up the attributes. Now, it's interesting for the monsters. It says in here that if you want to play humans, you can basically play a fighter, a wizard, or a thief, which is the fighter is based on Conan, the wizard is based on Gandalf, and the thief character is based off of Grey Mouser. The Grey Mouser novels. So that's interesting. Just 3 classes. I kind of like that. Nice and simple. So what you do at this point is we go down to the Snollygoster here, and we have to roll for the ability scores, but they get multipliers. So here I've got a 15. So the multiplier is 2, so 15 becomes 30. Alright. IQ is... What the heck does that mean? 3 halves, so 1.5? I have no idea. Alright. Okay, so 5 and 4 is 9. 5 and 4 is 9. How would you multiply 3 halves? Well, let's just call it 5. Good enough. Alright. Luck is just times 1. That's the multiplier for the Snollygoster, so just its luck. So its luck is 10. Its constitution, no multiplier, so just whatever its con is, which is going to be 7. Hope you can see this, the writing. It's in pencil, I know, but I didn't want to use a marker, which would be easier to see, but I don't really want to wreck my book. So dexterity is times 3. Alright. So I guess this thing's really fast. So what have we got here? 15 times 3 is 45. Alright. And a Snollygoster, its charisma is 1/2. Now, one thing interesting with this game is it says that charisma is kind of alignment. So the higher your charisma is, the nicer, the better you are, the more towards good you are. So 7 rounded off would be what's that? 3.5. So is 4. I imagine you have to round down, but I'm going to pretend that we use real math in in RPG games. I don't know why they always make you round down, like whatever. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. Alright, so the combat, now the combat bonus is a little bit strange here. Needs a little bit of paper here. Combat adds are figured for prime attributes. Character gets 1 add for each strength, luck, and dexterity point over 12. So, so what would that be? 15, 16, 17, 18. So get 18 for the strength. And then dexterity and luck. And there's no luck over 12. Dexterity, whoa. Alright, alright. Big bonus for that. Which would be... Alright. I'm an idiot. What can I say? 33. Alright, so 33. Alright, and then nothing for that. And then you lose points for lose 1 for every such point under 9. Okay, so nothing's under 9, so we've got an add of 51. This guy's brutal. Holy. This is a serious monster. Okay, for size and weight. Oh, this one's kind of funny. A Snolly Gosster. Weight and height. Alright, so just 1 to 1. So what you do is you roll on here. This could end up kind of comical. Alright, so we've got 11, 12. So it's 5'11". And its weight, I think I would just use that. I'm just going to use that. I'm going to roll again because I'm probably going to end up with something really silly. Is 180. So Grath the Snolly Gosster is 5'11", weighs 180 point, has a combat add of 51, which is just really tough. When you consider humans have hardly any adds at all. So the possible weight, like these guys are just gonna massacre. So down here we have a Ogre. And its size is 15 feet 6 inches and weighs about 350 pounds. So it had modifiers. The Snolly Gosster does not have modifiers to its height and speed. It is considered fast, which means it moves faster than humans. It seems like that's the only thing that you need for this. It's just, are you faster than a human? Are you slower than a human, or are you about the same as a human? Which I like that. Why bother being very specific? You don't really need it. I mean, after all you're going to be doing is attacking villages and ransacking them and stuff. So to give you an idea of just how tough, say, a dragon is, this was the first monster I rolled up. And it was a dragon. So I called him Gnarls. He's a dragon. He weighs 750 pounds. He has combat adds of 190. And he can carry 40,000 pounds. Yeah, that's pretty good. So this guy can carry 300 pounds. Well, they call it gold pieces, so I don't know what that really is. But anyway, 300 gold pieces. So this is considerably weaker than a dragon, but considerably stronger than a person. I don't know if Graths use weapons. Now, this is an interesting thing. You don't actually roll up for money. You just equip your monster with whatever seems reasonable. But this has 4 legs. How is it 5'11" has 4 legs? This is very odd. I don't really understand this that much. It's got a fascinating combat system. I will show you. The combat system does not seem very refined to me yet. But it isn't... Okay, maybe I won't show you. Where does it talk about turn sequence, movement and speed, combat? Yeah, so the combat system is kind of fascinating in this game, in that you roll 3 6-sided dice and you add your combat bonus to it. But the modifiers for magic items and stuff are absolutely crazy. So I'll just read this, because this will give you an idea of it. This is the story of Gil, the Mad Hobbit, who met 2 ferocious ogres in the tunnels and had to fight them. Gil, who is crazy enough to wander around by himself, has a strength of 4, IQ of 11, luck of 7, constitution of 26. He is little, but very tough. Dexterity of 16 and charisma of 7. He is wearing steel cap and a leather suit of armor, the total for which is enough to absorb 8 hits when he is on the losing end of a fight. That's right, armor absorbs damage. He carries a bola, which he is very good at entangling foes. He rarely fails. And a dirk, which is worth 2 dice and 2 adds. It is also poisoned with dragon's venom to increase its potential effectiveness quadrupled if he can land a hit. So that's really amazing. That's an interesting, instead of like +1, +2 or whatever, this is actually multipliers, which you'd never see in a modern game. When they tell you to design a game, not they just tell you, but I mean, but experts I've talked to and so forth and things I've read have said that it's much easier to add than subtract. So your game should only have addition in it. You shouldn't have subtraction, because a lot of people aren't very good at subtraction, but most everyone can do addition. That's why most games don't actually have subtraction in them. But this game actually has multiplication. It has addition of or multiplication of fractions. You definitely tell this is an old school game. His adversaries are 2 ogre brothers, Gnarsh and Grunge, who wear no armor, just some mangy wolf skins. They are armed with bludgeons, little ones for ogres, only 3 dice. Their ratings are, respectively, 28, 6, 11, 22, 9, and -9. And 24, 6, 8, 22, 14, and -15. Because Gil has a low strength and luck, he has a subtract of -3. Ganache has combat adds of 16 for strength alone, and Grun has an add of 13. So as you can see, an add of 51 is pretty good. And an add of 190 is even better. So dragons are pretty tough in this. "Hey, look," said Grunge. "I see a hobbit. Let's eat it." "Yummy," answered Ganache. Without another word, the 2 ogres lumbered towards the pop-eyed hobbit. Any sane creature would have turned and run, but, as we've already said, Gil is cuckoo. Instead of running, he whipped out his bola and sent it whirling at the legs of the foremost ogre. Ganache went down with a crash, his hairy, flea-bitten legs tied together tighter than Siamese twins, failing to make his saving roll on luck. Narsh struck his head on the stone floor and KO'd himself. Now, this is kind of interesting because they're adding stuff in here, which is a really fun way to game master. I heard it some years ago. Sort of introduced as a great way to play, like this is sort of a new and inventive way to play. Well, I have to say, the DM is introducing fun little things, like he knocked himself on the head and knocked himself out for a game made in 1976. So, not so new. Not such a new concept as the GM or DM or whatever the hell you want to call the GM, DM, or whatever the hell they are. Being a narrator of a story, telling a story with the characters, sort of main characters, and embellishing things like getting KO'd and so forth. Not new. One thing I do caution GMs against is narrating such thing for players. You wouldn't want to just tell a player that they've suddenly knocked themselves out. Players are all for it if the monsters do that, but you tell them they did that? Yeah, get ready for an argument. You don't want to do that. You want to let the players tell you what happens with the players, and it's almost always going to be good stuff that happens to them, but, you know, that's part of the game. With a blood-curdling scream, Gil hurled himself towards the somewhat amazed Grunge, who was attempting to flatten the little bounder with his club. To ensure the delivery of his dragon's venom, Gil player asks if he can leap in and close with the ogre. The GM rules he must make a saving roll on dexterity. He does so, and they agree he can quadruple his roll. Whatever it is, both parties must make their combat rolls now. Grun rolls a 16. His combat adds bring his total to 29. Gil rolled a 9 plus 2. The plus 2 for the dirk, and quadrupled for the venom, for a weapon total of 44. His subtracts are figured last, which they would be if they were adds 2, for a grand total of 41. Why wouldn't you figure all that out ahead of time? Interesting. Grunge found himself flailing at the air with a maddened hobbit clinging to his belt. Now notice that they can actually call it a hobbit. Yeah, that's interesting. I noticed that with Tunnels and Trolls too, that they actually have hobbits in it. Now, D&D first edition called them halflings, so I'm not sure how they're getting away with calling them hobbits. I suppose this game was probably small enough that it flew under the radar. I believe Tunnels and Trolls is still out. I think you can still buy it. I might even still be making stuff for it for all I know. I don't really know. But I think on Drive-Thru-RPG you can get it, but I doubt they use hobbits anymore. Just a guess. In the first combat turn, he took 12 hits, which are subtracted from its constitution of 22, leaving him badly wounded with constitution of only 10 now. And that's right, constitution works as your hit points. You don't actually have hit points, just take it off your constitution. Who else does that? Traveler does that with endurance, right? You reduce your endurance. I think you reduce all your attributes actually, but once your endurance is down, you're really hooped. Don't quote me on that, but that's just from my memory. Grunge dropped his club and tried to grapple with the quick little creature who kept right on hacking. Ganesh came to and, seeing his badly bleeding brother, began ripping at the rope with long, dirty fingernails. Ogres rolled 2 dice for unarmed combat. On this turn, Grunge rolled 10 for a total of 23. Gil only rolled 5, plus 2 is 7. Times 4 for Venom is 28, minus 3 for subtracts, for a total of 25. The two exchanged a flurry of blows, but this time Gil only slightly damaged the ogre, whose constitution now drops to 8. By this time, the second ogre, Ganesh, had freed himself. Seeing he couldn't use his bludgeon without hitting his brother, he flexed his talons and joined in the brawl. Gil continued to foam at the mouth and slash wildly with his dagger. The ogre scored a total of 46, which the hobbit only managed a 33. Gil took 8 hits on armor. He is also severely scratched and torn, taking 5 hits on constitution, bringing him down to 21. The battered Gil suddenly realized that he might not win this fight after all. You think? He began to yell, the high wailing screech of a hobbit in trouble. Obviously, if we continue this fight, the ogres will eventually reduce Gil's constitution to 0 and kill the little idiot. As a matter of fact, they will certainly get him next round because the venom has worn off his dagger, so it is no longer quadrupled. No venom lasts more than 3 combat turns. Luckily for the hobbit, his screams were heard by another party of dungeon delvers who hastened to see what was going on. When the newcomers rounded the corner, the ogres recognized the better part of valor, tossed Gil away, and ran off. Gil was saved through no merit of his own. A great little story. Anyway, that's that. I just thought I'd roll this up quickly. Monster, based on Tunnels and Trolls. Never played it. Kind of fun. I think I'm going to try and play it. Yeah, I think I want to give this a shout, or give this a shot. So if anybody knows anything about this game or any of the lore about it, please do leave a comment about it. I've got number 9102 on here. I have no idea if that's some kind of library number or if it's the actual number for the book. Again, I have no idea where I got it. This is a 4th printing. Kind of fun. Let's go through it quickly. I really like that it's... it looks almost like it was typewriter written. I mean, look at it. It's kind of faded here. Then the type is really tight, you know, strong here. I mean, did the Gestetner start getting weak? Did the carbons, you know, for the Gestetner? I don't know. what happened there. This was more than likely printed on a Gosster, which, I mean, who does that anymore? This is really fun. I love this kind of stuff. Yeah. Ken St. Andre, May 1979. Pretty awesome. Designed by Ken St. Andre, edited by Steve Jackson. Re-edited by Ken St. Andre. Now, who's Steve Jackson? Just kidding. Very interesting. Oh, this is the second edition. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and leave a like and hit a notification and all that other jazz I'm supposed to say. And yeah, till next time. Talk to you later. Take care.